I hoarded every spare dollar for a decade to finally fund my dream business. The evening before I signed the lease, my daughter called and declared, "My husband needs you to wire us your savings." Seconds later, a text popped up. "Stop being greedy. Family survives together. Cancel your contract." I glared at the screen, silenced the device, and signed the paperwork anyway. When I checked my notifications, absolute chaos was waiting for me. Here is what my daughter Nadia didn't realize. Long before I answered that frantic call, I had already seen the banking documents. 3 weeks prior, a certified letter from a major mortgage lender arrived at my house in Portland. A formal notice of intent to foreclose on Nadia and Fletcher's newly built home. They had carelessly left my address on Fletcher's primary profile from his college days. I read the default packet the same Tuesday it arrived and reached out immediately. I sent Nadia 3 different financial advisors I trusted. She left my messages on read, not a single response. That was 3 weeks before the night before my commercial lease signing. The bakery space was secured long before that. The massive industrial convection ovens were ordered long before that. My husband Conrad had framed the blueprint of the storefront because he needs a physical reminder of what we are building. Downtown Portland, a 5-year commercial lease, $42,500 in upfront capital already sitting in escrow, entirely non-refundable. And not once in those 3 weeks did either of them call to ask if we could help them strategize. They deliberately bided their time, waiting until the cashier's check was sitting on my kitchen counter, because they figured that was the exact moment my maternal guilt would break me. They didn't suddenly run out of options. They chose to ignore every single one. I didn't raise my voice when Nadia called. I didn't demand she explain why they waited until the 11th hour. I simply told her no. One firm syllable, delivered with the certainty of someone who has finally found peace with a heavy decision. She phoned back exactly 8 minutes later, her tone dropping into a cooler, calculated cadence. She brought up Fletcher's hidden job loss. The severance had dried up months ago. She laid out their monthly overhead, ticking off terrifying numbers like a prosecutor presenting evidence. I absorbed every word without interjecting. Then I calmly informed her that I was still not canceling my transfer. She tried calling twice more. During the 3rd attempt, she bitterly claimed losing the house would permanently traumatize my grandchildren. I gently told her how deeply unfortunate that was. The 4th call, her voice hardened into pure glacial spite. "If you sign that lease tomorrow, consider yourself dead to this family." I stood motionless in my dining room, absorbing the weight of that threat. I vividly remembered the antique car I sold 4 years ago to pay for Nadia's lavish destination wedding. I remembered the emergency roof repairs Conrad and I postponed because Fletcher needed a private loan to cover his failed crypto investments. Every massive sacrifice was met with zero gratitude, just the arrogant expectation that the Bank of Mom would forever remain open. I picked up the envelope and walked out. Conrad never questioned my silence during the drive to the broker's office. He just gripped the steering wheel and let the miles roll by. I kept my phone tucked inside my coat during the signing and left it powered down while I accepted the keys to my future bakery. We spent 4 hours cleaning the empty storefront. I only booted my screen back up when we sat on the dusty floor to eat sandwiches. The notifications flooded in, 37 missed calls, and a toxic stream of texts. Nadia, Fletcher, and a confused cousin. Finally, around 1 p.m., the barrage abruptly ceased. A single, final text from Fletcher arrived later. "The repo company just towed my truck from the driveway. We are officially bankrupt." No punctuation, no apology. Placed there to infect my joy. I read the words twice. Then I powered down the device, shoved it back into my pocket, and leaned my head against Conrad's shoulder. I looked up at the pristine ceiling of my brand new bakery. They had 21 days. They chose to burn every single one.